and make a video from section 1.6 that seemed to be a little bit trickier. So I chose problem number 5, where you're asked to solve the radical equation with two radicals. And so we're going to go through on how to solve this one today. So really it's a matter of isolating one radical and focusing on one radical at a time. So the first step that we're going to do, so here we have the square root of 11 plus 10x plus the square root of 8x plus 9 equals 2. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to subtract this 8x, square root 8x plus 9 over to the right hand side to isolate the other radical. So we're going to subtract that over. Okay, so then you're left with, on the left-hand side, you're left with the square root of 11 plus 10x. And then on the right-hand side, you have 2 minus the square root of 8x plus 9. Now you want to eliminate the radical on the left-hand side, and you simply just do that by squaring it. But what you do to one side, you have to do to the other, so you have to square both sides. So then on the left-hand side, you're just left with 11 plus 10x. And then on the right-hand side, things get a little bit trickier. So you actually have to treat this just like you would any quadratic equation. You have to FOIL it out. So I'm going to write the whole thing out. So 2 minus square root 8x plus 9 times 2 minus square root 8x plus 9. And now we're going to FOIL. So you just take the 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by a negative square root 8x plus 9, and then the same for this side. So again, the left-hand side gets left alone. And on the right-hand side, you have 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times negative square root 8x, so you have minus 2 square root 8x plus 9. And then negative square root 8x plus 9 times 2, so you get another one of these. And when you take this negative square root 8x plus 9 and multiply it by negative square root 8x plus 9, well, really all that happens is your sign becomes positive, right, because you're multiplying a negative by a negative. And then you're taking square root and squaring it, essentially. So you're just basically eliminating that square root and turning it into positive 8x plus 9. And now on the right hand side, you can simplify a little bit by adding like terms. So you have this 4 and you have 9, so that leaves you with 13. Negative 2 square root 8x plus 9 minus 2 square root 8x plus 9 leaves you with minus 4 square root 8x plus 9. And then you have this 8x. Now, what you want to do is you want to take everything you want to take this 13 and this 8x and subtract it over to the left-hand side. So minus 13 minus 8x. Minus 13 minus 8x. So you have 11 minus 13, so that gives you negative 2. And then you have 10x minus 8x, so that's positive 2x. And then on the right-hand side, you're left with negative 4 square root 8x plus 9. Now you can see this negative 2, this positive 2, and this negative 4 all have a 2 in common, so you can actually simplify even further by dividing everything by 2. So you're left with negative 1 plus x equals negative 2 square root 8x plus 9. Now your goal is to eliminate this radical on the right-hand side. So you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to square it. And on the left-hand side, you have x minus 1 squared, or, you know, fully written out as x minus 1 times x minus 1. And on the right-hand side, you have to make sure that the squared, you square this negative 2 in front, so that just turns into positive 4, right? Because negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. And then the radical here goes away, and you're just left with 8x plus 9. Okay, so now the left-hand side of the equation, you have to FOIL, just like you did above. So you have x times x times negative 1. So you end up with x squared minus x plus 1 on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you just take this 4 and FOIL it in, so factor it in. So 4 times 8 is 32x. 4 times 9 is 36. And now the goal is we're trying to solve for x. So we're going to subtract this 32x plus 36 over to the left-hand side. So I'm kind of running out of space here. So minus 32x minus 36 minus 32x minus 36. We're going to go up here now. So we're going to go up here. We have some more space. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we have x squared. Nothing changes with that. You have negative 2x minus 32x, so that leaves you with negative 34x. You have positive 1 minus 36, so that leaves you with minus 35. And then on the right-hand side, you just have 0. So now the left-hand side, all you have to do is factor. And so it's a matter of finding out what factors into your C value that then when summed together gives you B. So you're trying to find factors of negative 35 that then when added or subtracted together give you negative 34. Well, this one's not too bad because you can already see that negative 35 plus 1 gives you negative 34. And that's a factor of 35. So you can just, that's pretty simple, right? So that's just negative 35 and positive 1. Okay, so now the trick is to take each this negative x minus 35 and x plus 1, set them both equal to 0 and solve using the zero product property. So you'll add, for this one, you just add 35 to both sides. And for this one, you just subtract 1 from both sides. So for this side, you're just left with x equals 35. And this one, you're left with x equals negative 1. So you have two potential solutions. So now the issue is you have to figure out which one is a true solution and which one's a false solution or an extraneous solution. So the matter now is to plug these guys into your original equation and see which one works out. So we're going to start with 35. So we have the square root of 11 plus 10 times 35 plus the square root of 8 times 35 plus 9. And does that equal 2? Kind of already tell that these are going to be big numbers, so they're probably not going to equal 2, but we will pursue it. So 11 plus 10 times 35 is 350. Plus the square root of 8 times 35 is 280. So now simplifying these guys, you have 11 plus 350 is 361 and 289. So the square root of 361 is 19. And the square root of 289 is 17. And you can tell right off the bat, 19 plus 17 is not 2, so that does not equal 2. So 35 is not a solution. So now we're going to go to -1. So we have square root 11 plus 10 times -1 plus the square root of 8 times -1 plus 9. Sorry, my computer is being really slow. Equals 2. So this radical, we have 11 minus 10 plus this one we have -8 plus 9 equal 2. Well, for this one we have 11 minus 10 is 1, so that leaves us with square root of 1. -8 plus 9 is 1, so square root of 1. Square root of 1 is 1, so we do have 1 plus 1 equals 2. So that's why -1 is our solution to this problem. And that's it. That's all you have to do to solve this one. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And thanks for watching.